Some of the greatest African kings, such as Mansa Musa and Eware the Great, died of natural causes. But there were many other rulers of the continent who died in a shocking manner. While some were betrayed and killed by family members, others lost their lives in wars. Some to modern diseases such as cancer, and others drowned. Today, we are looking at the unbelievable ways in which some of the rulers of the African continent died. Welcome to We Afrique, the channel for the lovers of Africa. Subscribe to our channel to show your love for the mother continent and get information on the African continent, its people, places, food and things. Here is how some great African kings died. The first is Shaka Zulu. The founder of the Zulu kingdom and one of the most polarizing among other African kings is Shaka Zulu. This king lost his mind following the death of his mother. There are some claims that he might have as well suffered from mental issues after the loss. Whatever the case, he went rampage on his people. He made it a crime to plant crops or use milk for a year. Also, women were forbidden from getting pregnant, else they would be killed with their husbands. Exhausted soldiers were sent on a mission just after they returned from another, and he was no longer rational. All this paved the way and made it easy for him to be assassinated by his half-brothers and close associates. Those close to him were tired of his erratic behavior, but his brothers, on the other hand, were always looking for a way to end his life and take over power. Otutu. King Otutu of the Ashanti Kingdom and one of the founders of the empire died in 1717 after he was shot in a war. The powerful king led his kingdom to a war against the Akem, whom he had underestimated greatly because they were very few in number. Normally, when he was going to war, Otutu I would always put on his magical amulets, but because of how he underestimated the Akem, he went to fight them with no amulets, and to make matters worse, he did not go with his complete body armor. As the war continued, the king was crossing the river Pra in a canoe one day, and he was shot by a sniper from the Akem. This led to the death of the great king. His last words were "Aka menim a," which translates to "if only I knew." This is believed to be the words of regret that he underestimated the Akem. Because of the nature of his death, kings of the Ashanti Kingdom and occupants of the Golden Stool are forbidden from ever crossing the river Pra. Idris Aloma. The death of Idris Aloma of the Kanem-Borno Empire is not very different from that of the Ashanti king. My Idris Aloma died between 1602 and 1603. A king in the class of the Tudor Queen Elizabeth I of England. He is one of the few mice of the Kanem-Borno Empire known to this day. His death occurred during a battle at Bagoirmi in the occupied area of Maiduguri. At the time, the area was occupied by Gamargu and Mabani peoples. Aloma was killed by a pagan archer who laid an ambush for him on a tree. Manelik II. King Manelik II was one of the greatest emperors of Ethiopia and one of the most respected African kings. He is recognized for fighting off Italy in the 1890s when the Europeans wanted to take over Ethiopia as their protectorate. He was the first African king to fight off colonial powers. Manelik died in 1913 when he was 69 years old. His cause of death was complications from stroke, which he suffered a few years earlier. He was reported dead many times before he finally passed away. How Sundiata Keita died is not as clear as that of others we have mentioned. Recognized as the founder and emperor of the Mali Empire, this king died around 1255. The manner in which he died has been a subject of controversy, but one of the most accepted causes of death of the Mali emperor is drowning. It is claimed that Mansa Sundiata Keita died in the Sankarani River while he was trying to cross. Another version has it that he lost his life when he was accidentally shot with an arrow during a ceremony. Yet another claim has it that the emperor was assassinated following a public demonstration. Ramses II. Ramses the Great ruled Egypt from 1279 to 1213 BC. This means that he ruled for 66 years, within which he fought many enemies, both within and outside of the ancient Egypt, before bowing to death at the age of 90. The pharaoh died from natural causes, having suffered ailments such as arthritis, hardening of the arteries, and dental issues. His legacies are so great that many after him took his name. Hatshepsut. This pharaoh died at the age of 50, but she is still regarded among the great female rulers of Egypt and the longest women pharaoh among other indigenous Egyptians. Also known as Matkari, she ruled together with her Thutmose III, her stepson. This pharaoh died around 1458, and it was claimed that she might have been killed by her stepson, who also tried erasing her from history. This theory is debatable because findings suggest that she died of natural causes. The findings indicate that she might have died of several causes such as arthritis, diabetes, and bone cancer. Before her death, she was said to be obese and was suffering from skin diseases. Soni Alib of the Songhai Empire is yet another African king whose death is still a matter of controversy to this day. He ruled the Songhai Empire for nearly 3 decades before his death in 1492. Documented sources claim that he died in the Niger River after he drowned while trying to cross. It was suggested that he died while returning from a campaign against the Fulani people who lived west of Songhai. Oral sources do not agree with this claim. They are of the opinion that he was murdered by Askia Mohammed Toure, his sister's son. Still in the Songhai Empire, the next great African king is Askia Mohammed I. Also referred to as Askia the Great and the founder of the Askia dynasty. This king took over power from the son of Soni Ali on the basis that he was not a faithful Muslim. Askia established himself as a great king who reorganized the Songhai Empire and took it to a glorious state. By 1528, the powers of this king was fading as a result of ill health and political isolation. This encouraged his son, Asam Musa, to overthrow and banish the great king to an island in the Niger River. During his exile, the health of Askia the Great deteriorated and he went blind. This island was described as a place infested with mosquitoes and toads. Askia Musa was in power for only 3 years before he was overthrown by his brother, Askia Mohammed Bonkana. The power play, betrayal, and family rivalry was not about to end. Askia Bonkana was in power for 6 years before he was overthrown by his brother, Askia Ismail, who then returned their father to Gao, where he died only a year later. Behanzin Hosu was the last independent king of the famous Dahomey Kingdom. This is the territory that inspired the Hollywood film The Woman King, but that is a story for another day. Behanzin ascended the throne after his father committed suicide, and he ruled for only 4 years, within which he resisted the French attempt at colonizing the Dahomey Kingdom. This would lead to a series of wars with the French government, at the end of which Behanzin surrendered. He was exiled to Martinique and Algeria. He died while in exile in Algiers, Algeria. What do you think about the death of these African leaders? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.